The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening and welcome to McStabber Studios' Windy City After Dark. I am the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I'm Relendare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Duron of Clan Ventru.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'll be playing Isabella Caputo of Clan Toreador.
Good evening, I am the Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel.
I'm Urian, and I play Roscoe Akers, Clan Tremere.
I'm Brad, Timber Brad 411 in chat, and I'll be playing Nicholas Bowens of Clan Hikata.
I'm Gavin, and I play Lamar Cade of Clan La Sombra.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gray. I'm Gray in chat as well. And today I will be playing Antoine de la Cour, a new import from Europe as Nosferatu.
First of all, thank you to our guest player tonight. A bit of a story you all, the viewers out there, will get to see. But when we were last with this coterie, what started off as we'll just go and pop in to check a warehouse, turned into a whole night of warehouse fun. And basically, they have discovered that somebody's got some sort of nefarious plan there for the Undercity involving Nosferatu and exploding blood magic. Nothing bad will come of that, I'm sure. But where we're opening tonight, it's a few days later. We open up in Jackie's Haven, where Nicholas, Roscoe, and Jackie have gathered. And as you're escorted in by Etienne, ma'am, are you still planning to go see Cedric tonight?
I am. But Roscoe, Nicholas, it's good to see you both. Sadly, I will not be able to go with you to observe the statue I bought from Dr. Benway, but I will be going to speak with Cedric. Roscoe, did you by chance check on those places for...
I did.
Okay.
I went to all of them. The west side and south side were clean, but there's an exact duplicate of the door was in the warehouse on the east side. It also had an explosive rune to blow the door, and then it went down into the Undercity somewhere.
She goes over to a small, like, writing desk thing that's in her entryway, and she pulls out a piece of paper. Okay, this is the address to the one we went to together. What was the address of the one on the east side? And she'll get that from you and write it down.
Okay.
And then she takes that and puts it in an envelope and puts it in her bag. I will deliver that to Cedric because he needs to be aware of that to possibly let Waneka know. Or I can let Waneka know. I don't care. It's up to him what he does with it. To work at it from the bottom up. So we can handle, I know Jenny has contractors she can get in to secure over the hatches, but we want to make sure that other access points, such as the one we saw someone escape from, are also sealed. So.
Did you, by chance, Roscoe, set off the other rune, or did you manage to avoid it, unlike myself?
Well, storyteller, what happened? I mean, I would have just tried to see that it was there without tripping
you set it off, and
Okay.
That way they could put steel plates over it.
Okay. No, I set that one off too. So
Let Jenny know about the east side one as well, so she can get her people out there to cover it
okay.
up. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Well, you gentlemen, have a lovely evening. Take good care of the Metian.
Yes, ma'am. Peter's waiting at the car for you, ma'am.
Perfect.
Good night, Jack.
Good night.
And as Nicholas and Roscoe set out to be taken to a storage unit that Jackie's got the statue in, we're actually going to follow Jackie at first as Peter takes her over to, well, Morton's Steakhouse. Because Jackie has asked for a meeting with Cedric, and he's not meeting her in his office tonight. He's playing chess. Well, not playing. He plans to show Jackie some chess while he waits for his other visitor. And when you arrive, the maitre d' at the front, he instantly recognizes you at this point. Your guest is in the back, in the private room.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And she walks back.
And when you come in, Cedric's got a chessboard set up in front of him. Hey.
Cedric.
Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening. And she sits down.
Play a little chess while we're waiting for my guest to show up.
Yes.
Got another one coming. I believe you saw him briefly over at Waneka's camp. He'll be here shortly. But
all right.
Why not play a bit?
Yes, I also have some things to discuss with you while we play.
Why don't you always?
Of course. Of course. You know I get all sorts of information. Regarding the chess game we discussed last time.
Yeah.
Did some digging. Even some exploration. And found that there's a plot in place to drive feral Nosferatu from the Undercity out to the surface through specific locations. North side and east side.
That's... I don't want to go into too much details about the nature of parts of that Undercity, but that's not territory we directly control. There is a large amount of, can't even call them unaligned, Nosferatu who are unpleasant to be around.
Yes, well, when we were investigating one of the locations where there is a access point that is set up to explode outwards from underneath with a blood sorcery rune. We saw also from drainage, it looks like almost like sewer grates in the back of the warehouse that we were at. There was more than was necessary. It's like they expect some significant flooding there.
Jackie,
Mhm.
give me an insight roll, please.
Okay. I'll take that 4.
When you mentioned the blood sorcery rune,
Mhm.
there's a reaction, a brief a pause in the way his hand was moving a piece
Mhm.
that gives, he knows something about it,
Mhm.
but that's it.
And she just continues. She just
Okay.
catalogs that and continues because she'll circle back to that. And, she waits for him to lay his piece, and then she does a responding move on the board. And yes, and we saw a Nosferatu escape from one of those sewage grates and leap right on top of the warehouse to head north from where we were. And we were at the north side location at the time. So I imagine someone was keeping an eye on things.
Did you get a description of the one who jumped out?
No, unfortunately, he was a little too fast. But he definitely didn't appear feral. He seemed mighty in control of himself.
So they've got feral,
They're gonna flood the Undercity to drive them through.
well, that would be a small problem.
Mhm.
That would cause,
Masquerade breaches all over the place.
well, not just that, it would force myself and Warneka to
Deal with
clean
it.
up, deal with it,
Mhm.
and force us to answer a lot of questions about,
What's going on down there?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're feral, we don't really get to, we can't really stop them, but that won't stop the questions. And it would keep us busy, for sure.
Yes, and Waneka has an army. Convenient that it would keep him tied up.
Oh, yeah. It definitely would that, too. Someone's wanting to pull Clan Nosferatu out of the game.
Yes. I thought I should let you know.
Yeah.
What do you know about that blood sorcery rune? She makes another move.
It's not something that the Tremere did, I can tell you that. I can't go into much more detail than that. Unfortunately, it is not my secret to tell, but it does give me something to look into.
Excellent.
It is clan business, unfortunately.
I can respect that.
Yes.
So, she takes out the envelope. Those are the addresses of the 2 places that have access and sewage grate drainage. If you guys want to go from underneath to take care of securing that.
I can try. Unfortunately, as I said, that's feral Nos territory, and they are highly protective of their areas. The casualty rate to force them out is why they're still there. I'm sure you understand what I mean by that.
Do you need help of the wolf pack?
Don't think they're going to work that well in those tight corridors. You know the old rule, never fight a Nos on his home turf.
I understand that.
I'll have to see about other methods to move them.
All right.
I've got some ideas on that, ones that I might be able to work.
If I can be of any assistance, just let me know.
I will. As I said, I have to be careful what I share. Some of it's clan business that I'll have to deal with.
Yes, I won't push. You know I won't.
But I can tell you now, I don't want our clan caught up
Yes,
in a coup.
exactly.
That's not healthy. At least not for us.
Exactly.
Plus, we only get involved in coups that succeed.
Exactly.
As you're laughing, there's a knock at the door. And the Maitre D is outside the door. Sir, there's an Anton here. Yeah, send him in. And the door opens, and in steps another Nosferatu. He's kind of, I assume he's got his hat pulled low to kind of hide some of his features, but I mean, this restaurant's kept dark for a reason. I will let Anton describe himself as he steps in the room.
When he steps in the room, he wears his hoodie over his head. But when he comes in the room, he pulls it out to let his face show. But he's dressed in a hoodie with his cap, and he has an army jeans, army pants, but dark blue as well that matches his hoodie. And when he's entering the room, he's going to look at Cedric, and when he's going to look at Jackie, he's going to freeze for 2 little seconds before going out and say, "Oh, good evening, everyone."
Jacqueline Durand. Anton Delacourt.
She reaches out her hand to Antoine. Pleasure.
He will take it, and he will say, "Pleasure as well."
This is the individual I mentioned before. He was sent from overseas. He is working with Wineka, but I believe you have that information, and the two of you need to speak on that. And this is the one I wanted you to work with in order to see if you can help and find those masked individuals.
Oh, yes, yes.
The widow ones.
Interesting. Why are they called that?
We don't know exactly. There is a lot of dark spots concerning their history. We just know that they, when we discovered them in France, it was, first of all, we saw one, then two, and then we saw that there was something strange with them. They were acting like Nosferatu, but not quite. They were walking like a pack, And the strange thing is their mask. It's like they are wearing this kind of mask, like it's their true face. He's going to pull one of the mask out, and he's going to put it on to show it to Jackie. This is one of their masks.
She actually takes it from him.
It looks very close to what Lamar described. Almost European gargoyle-ish in nature.
What? She's rubbing her fingers on it. What is it made of?
It is made of leather, maybe? Leather-ish?
Do they skin their kills?
We never find who they kill.
Interesting. She hands the mask back to him. An associate of mine witnessed someone wearing a mask very similar to this in West Side. Fighting, presumably an Assamite, that had a number of associates with them. And made pretty quick work of the associates, and the Assamite retreated.
Like I said, they are hunting in pack.
This one was alone, though.
Alone. Oh,
The withered one, as you called it, was alone and single-handedly mopped the floor, as it were, with those associates of the Asimite.
yeah. And while you are speaking, you're going to see that Antoine is really staring at you, like really staring. Yes, sorry.
Sorry, do I distract you?
No, not distracting. Distracting is not the word. How do I pull it in English? Let's say you resemble at someone of my past, and it's a little disturbing. But sorry about that. No, what? He was single. That's strange. Maybe he was on a hunt to. As a first hunt? No, maybe it's too. Yeah, maybe a first hunt. When I was looking and when I was investigating, I heard the story about the first hunt. The first hunt is they are actually the first thing that they do is they pull up the mask and they leave them in the sewers. They take them with them. They go in the sewers, and they have to find their way back to the clan, to their group, to their cult.
To their cell.
Indeed. And while they are trying to find their way back, it seems that the others are hunting him to see if it's going to disturb him. But after that, to be really part of the clan, he has to prove himself. So maybe he tried to took the Sassamites by himself to prove himself?
That would make sense.
I don't know what the Asimite was. I notice you're calling him Asimite rather than Banu, the Banu Akub.
I have a feeling he's not beholden to Primogen Alkindi.
Well, I asked her about it. Me and Primogen Alkindi have a working relationship at the moment.
Glad to hear it.
We have similar purposes when it comes to many things in this city, and she assured me it was not one of hers. While I won't put it past her to be able to lie to me, I don't think in this case it would serve her any purpose to lie to me on that one. She seemed as interested as I was to find out what's going on with this situation.
Absolutely. So,
Jackie, have you ever heard of the Nutuku?
have I?
No.
Sadly, no. If they are predominantly European, Cedric, it has been many, many years since I was in Europe.
They are
For any length of time.
a faction of us. My clan. Well, I'm not going to go into their full history. They believe they need to wipe the clan out.
To what end?
Their own motives. But any way you look at it, my understanding of the Withered Ones is they worship the Nituku. Their goal is the elimination of the rest of Clan Nosferatu.
All right, well, any I cross paths with will be destroyed.
There is a reason Nosferatu generally do not fight Nosferatu. It gets ugly very fast and masquerades get broken very quickly.
Oh, yes.
And plus, well, it's just not good. You will be working with Anton here. He is going to be your point of contact. Please exchange information with each other and work together.
Of course. Of course. She takes a card out of her bag. It's for the club in the Coterie domain. This is where Myself and my associates will meet often and meet with others. You can call and schedule an appointment.
I will do so. I will do so.
I'm going to get you, Anton, some people with you so you can go and investigate the west side. I will give you a couple of my assets that should be useful. I don't think it's wise for you to go there alone. If the withered ones are here, a lone Nosferatu outside of the city proper is probably not safe.
No, it's not safe. I've seen him in action. I've fight a few of them, and alone it's going to be difficult indeed.
I will make sure you have some assets. But I've got to go make a phone call, so if I'll leave you two to talk anymore, you need to exchange information and to figure out what you're planning to do here. I'll be back in a few minutes. And as she steps out, you see him pulling out a cell phone as he steps out of the room, leaving you two together for a few minutes.
Just so you know what you are walking into when you meet with myself and my associates, I am, of course, of Clan Ventru. My other associates are Isabella Caputo, a Toreador, Genevieve Schutz, a Gangrel, Roscoe Akers, a Tremia, Nicholas Bowens, a Hecata, and La Marcade, a La Sombra.
Oh, Sombra.
Indeed.
Interesting. So, I don't mind from which clan they are from. If you trust them, I will trust them as well.
Implicitly.
So, I heard you're from Europe and from the name from France as well.
Paris, actually.
Oh, Paris. I'm from Paris as well.
Oh. Small world.
Indeed. Oh, maybe it's there I saw you because your face seems really familiar.
It's possible.
When were you there last time?
The last time was right after the Second World War.
We must have crossed.
Yes, I left right before the beginning of the First World War.
I was in Paris at this moment. Oh, I was working for the French army. Yes, I was working for the French army. Just after I quit the university, I was working for the French army. I was before the war started. I was at the university, and then I was taken from the French army to work on the medicine, all this kind of poison, cures to poison and everything, because the Germans were using poisons. And yeah, I stayed there until I became what I am. Beginning of the Second War. Did I say something wrong?
Well, I'm certain that the army needed many to do that work.
I was interested in I was always interested in all what was about plants and everything, and I heard German were using poison, so why not help the French army and help the Allies to find cures and help the people.
Cedric comes back in at that point. I've got another meeting I've got to go deal with. I've got to go speak with Martin about an issue.
Give him my regards, please.
Oh, I will. Anton, have you met Martin yet?
No, but I would like to meet him indeed.
Yeah, why don't you come with me then, and I'll introduce you to him. He's useful. Stand-up kind of nos. He's the favor broker of us around here.
And Jackie gets up, puts her bag on her shoulder, and reaches out her hand to Antoine.
He will take it, and after from his bag, he's going to give his card, and you're going to see on the card Antoine H. de la Cour written on it in script, like a hand script, and with a phone number. Like, we never know if you need to call me faster than our meeting.
Perfect. And she puts it in her bag. It was a pleasure, and thank you, Cedric, for arranging this introduction.
No problem. You're helping out Clan Nosferatu, and obviously we'll be thankful if the two of you can work together and get this solved, because when we're dealing with members of our own clan hunting,
Yes.
we're not exactly equipped to find each other normally. So having somebody who has a different information source always helps.
Absolutely. I completely understand, and it is my pleasure to assist.
Oh, come on, Anton. Let me go take you to Martin.
And she follows them out.
And as you go your separate ways, you see Cedric and Anton heading down the street, and Nim is jumping building to building as they head down, his giant rat. And I'd like to thank Gray for his guest appearance again. And with our guests departed, we're now flipping over to Roscoe, Nicholas, and Etienne. Etienne takes you to a nice climate-controlled storage facility. It is not the standard rent-a storage, though. There's no signs that mark what it is. It is a private group that stores things for people in the same climate-controlled containers, but don't announce the fact that it's a storage place. It's for people who don't want a lot of attention on what they're storing. And when he walks up to the door, you see him put a key fob against a little pad, and the door unlocks, and he takes you in. Follow me in. I will show you. Our storage is on the second floor. And he takes you up to the second floor, and he opens up a storage locker. It's 10 foot by 20 foot. And when he opens the door to it, the statue is in there. There's also numerous pieces of art. And this is where Jackie stores stuff that she's either pulled down or is cycling and rotating through her displays. There's paintings, there's statues. There's even appears to be some excess stuff from her cabaret that she's pulled out, old advertisement signs or...
And there's a number of antiques in there.
Yep, and a number, but the statue's right in the front center. I pulled it forward so that you two could see it.
Before Nicholas goes in, gonna throw on Oblivion Sight and look around just to see if any stragglers have joined.
No. Oddly enough, there's no ghosts at all in the area as you're going into the building. None hanging out, none wandering around. Seems odd. Normally you see a ghost or two just wandering. I mean, Chicago's got a lot of ghosts. Not here.
So at that point, Nicholas will keep Oblivion Sight up and sort of move towards wherever Etienne is directing them.
He's pointing at the statue. Once you get inside, it's right there. Like I said, I pulled it from the back. We had it stuffed in the back because we didn't know what to do with it, so I just moved it out of the way. But I've pulled it forward just so you can get better access to it. The rest of the stuff is not stuff that she got from Benway.
Good thing. I look at it. Has it like grown any teeth or tails or anything?
No, it still looks exactly the same as it did before.
Okay. Well, I will try doing a spirit's touch on it.
Okay, you're going to just immediately go in and spirits touch it. You're going to roll... Yep, it's a rouse check. You passed it. It is going to be a wonderful intelligence plus auspex. And let's see how you roll as you dive into it to feel it.
Oh, nope, not that one.
That's not the right roll.
Nope.
That's just a lot of wits.
Yeah.
Now that you've rolled your wits, you're witsless. Got it. Yep. And we'll see what you get from it. This should be interesting. 5 successes, not bad. You going to willpower that 5?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see how many extras you get there. 5 so far, though. That's not bad. You bump it up to 7. Nicholas, I see you roused. What did you rouse for?
Where the shroud thins, I want to see, with there being considerably less activity than expected, I want to see if it's a shroud issue or something else.
Okay. So you're using where the shroud thins. I'll come back to you in 1 second, Roscoe.
Yeah.
It's Wits Oblivion for you, Nicholas. Six. Critical
With a
success
crit.
with a 6. Is there anything special on a critical win? The shroud here is, it's tattered. It's not broken. It's not shredded, but it's, as you're feeling the shroud and that barrier, it is weak and strong in various spots, but they're not consistent. It's almost like it's fraying in an odd way. Since you have a critical win, it's been like this for a few months at least.
Did Jackie tell us how long she's had the statue?
No, Roscoe knows how long it's been there, for a few months at least.
Oh, no, it's been there at least a year at this point.
Well, for as far back as Nicholas could tell, a few months, the shroud has been tattering. Now, Roscoe, when you touch it, you dive into the past of this object. You don't see much from Benway's ownership of it. You see the previous owner, though. He was actually a good man at one point. But over time, he started to be filled with anger, vitriol, hatred. And eventually, he went mad on a killing spree. And then you flash to a previous owner. This person was another good person who started being filled with anger and hatred, and eventually cracked and went on a killing spree. And as you dive back further and further, it seems this object corrupts whoever is near it.
Any can I tell the time frame, how long it takes?
A few years of ownership.
Okay.
Some are rather quick. Some seem to have snapped within a few months. Some took a few years. But always the same result from anyone who's owned it. Anger, hatred, corruption, madness, murder.
Okay.
As far back as you can reach. Hundreds and hundreds of years, this cycle has repeated itself. And every time it's not owned by somebody, for some reason, it doesn't stay without an owner long. Someone always seems to find it and start the cycle again.
Etienne, this thing has to go.
What did you find?
It's it corrupts whoever owns it. It makes them angry, then eventually drives them mad, and it usually ends up in a killing spree. As far back as I can see. I mean, there's multiple owners.
My guess it's probably also responsible for weakening the shroud between this side and the other. Perhaps something's coming through that is causing the behavior problems.
I did notice that all of its owners, they started out as good people, unquestionably, but it drove them pretty bad.
As far as you can tell, were any of them kindred?
Let me see. The previous owner, the very previous owner to Benway, was a kindred.
Seems like the most previous owner was kindred.
Interesting. Yes, I also agree that this needs to go, and probably sooner rather than later.
Any ideas how? I mean, exactly do I get rid of it then? Can we just break it?
I mean, when in doubt, there's always the lake.
Mr. Nicholas here. I want to explain. I know you've been told some things about the lake. I'm not sure I would trust throwing that thing in the lake with what already lives out there. The last thing I'd want to have happen is it wake up angry and murder us again.
The lake or the statue?
Pick one.
Yeah, I have no idea what it would take to break the curse on it. So getting rid of it, just giving it to someone you don't like might be a good idea.
I mean,
Also, we do know a gentleman who is particularly adept with a sledgehammer.
You said that all the owners have done that. I mean, you would think at one point, we know how these objects go, an owner would lose it at some point and it would just been lost to history. Why does it keeps getting itself found?
And it never stays without an owner for very long, from what I could see.
Yeah. Do you really want to give it to the person who wanted it? Because he's just going to go mad and then give it to somebody, and it's going to be somebody else's. We need to find a way to destroy it.
Yeah, if we could destroy it, that'd probably be the best thing.
Or somehow put it somewhere that the corruption is not a problem.
If proximity is the problem, distance would be a solution.
I mean, it hasn't caused Jackie to go crazy or me, but then again,
well,
you both don't come here around it that often.
We don't really consider it ours. It was just she was hoping to make a profit real quick selling it to someone else, so it's just sitting here.
There is some time delay between when it's acquired and when it starts having its effect. It's not always instant. Sometimes it is, but not always. And
yeah.
Now, Roscoe. I know I'm prone to having not the wisest of ideas at times. But I do believe we are acquaintances with someone who enjoys collecting interesting objects.
You know, you're right. She might have some use for it or a desire to keep it with her collection.
Or some means in her collection of dealing with the problems involved with it.
I imagine she probably has figured something out to that effect, but I think it'd be decent of us to tell her about the curse up front. Let's see what Jackie says.
Oh, I imagine somewhere within the first minute or two of us telling her what we've figured out will be get rid of it, or why haven't you gotten rid of it already?
That's actually a very good bet, Nicholas. I'm going to say, I'm not going to let it leave here until she tells me, but I'm pretty sure that telling it to disappear out of this storage vault is going to happen pretty quick because I doubt she wants it tainting the rest of her antiques in here. Is that even possible? Can it taint everything else in the room?
I don't know. But I guess the question I need to ask you, have you or Jackie acquired any other items from Benway? This seems to be a common thing with his antiquities.
No, she was trying to figure out how I can explain this. I don't want to insult your friend. She was off-put and unsettled by the casualness that he sold you a book made of human flesh, and she is not really keen on buying additional things from him.
That's wise. Because I've come to realize that he's not the best person.
I understand, Etienne, that you are beholden to Jackie. Can I say something in hopes that it stays between the three of us?
My advice for you then is not to say it in my presence, because I serve her and I have served her longer than any of you have existed. And look, I like you, Roscoe. I like you, Nicholas. My loyalty will always be to Jacqueline Durand.
No, understood. No question.
So if you would like me to step out, I will step out and give you a minute.
That might be wise.
And he actually steps out and steps down the hallway to give you a little bit of free space.
Nicholas will pull a bag out of his pocket, and it's got the 7 feather pieces of jewelry that he bought from Benway.
Okay. Well, I think we should probably have a look at those now.
It might be advisable while we're attempting to solve this problem.
Yeah. Let's do it one at a time.
So you're going to try spirits touching on 8 or 7.
Well, at least until I start feeling a little too hungry.
Well, let's start with the first one. Go ahead and do a rouse check and do a spirits touch on it.
I was going to say, I only, as far as I'm aware, I only know anything about one of them.
Yep. Is that the one you're going to give him first?
Yeah, I'll give him the one I know stuff about, and tell him what Nicholas has learned about.
And Roscoe, as you invoke your blood to pull forth this power, your beast actually speaks. You know, they were always jealous of your power. You shouldn't tell him shit. You should kill him. Drink his soul.
Not happening.
Which is odd because your beast normally won't talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can roll. You're having him check that one first?
Yeah, the one that I know something about already,
okay,
as sort of a base.
Wow.
Jesus.
9 success. You have a success on all but 1 die.
Jesus.
Very nice, Roscoe. Very, very nice. Yeah. And you didn't even, I don't even see, you have your power die in there. So yeah, you got 9 successes. When you touch this one, oh, damn. This ring, as you dive back in its history, with that many successes, you can feel a lot of the thoughts of the person. The previous owner ended up with a taste of human flesh. As did the owner before that, and the owner before that, and the owner before that. And what's funny is, at one point, it was actually a different object. It was actually a pendant that got melted down and changed to a ring. But that didn't stop the curse.
Hey, that's good to know. Nicholas, you not having any hankering for a bite of human flesh, are you?
I mean, no more than usual.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That's that seems to be this particular object's curse. That every owner, all the way back, ends up having human flesh, taking a bite, at least one.
Were the bites nourishing?
Can I tell that?
No, they were eating people as people. So, I mean, it's nourishing as in they got meat, they got calories, they got vitamins, but it was not kindred eating.
Yeah, it was nourishing as in like eating some chicken would be, just the flesh itself. It wasn't kindred related. This was human on human cannibalism.
So then I think it is safe to assume that all of these are probably.
Now, one thing I did notice though during the look back, that changing it from what it used to be into something different doesn't change the curse. At one point, this was a pendant, and it got melted down and turned into a ring, and the curse stayed with it.
So, using that logic, changing the statue from a statue to a pile of rocks is probably.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't make any
than-
difference. Yeah.
Would any of your magical friends be able to address the curse? Or should we go with the madam as plan A?
Well, I mean, I'm going to guess that the madam would find them interesting enough to might be able to turn them for something useful to us.
You gonna touch the next ring, Roscoe?
Let's try one more.
Nothing bad will happen from Roscoe touching it, I'm sure.
Oh no!
Oh, he's already used up all of his good rolls.
Okay, so you did not get hungrier. Yeah, he's on a roll tonight.
But
Hang on a
Yeah,
sec.
you know, that's the best I got, okay?
Did it? Oh, I think it turned off the +1. Hang on.
Did it? If so, you just roll one more die. Once it decides whether it's going to actually total your roll, because I see dice, but I don't see a result yet. So there we go. Nope, it still has +1 die, it says.
Okay.
You got 4 on it. If you want a willpower, you can.
I will do that.
Okay. Hmm. 6 successes as you touch this ring and dive back into its past. The previous owner of this one was killed by a shadowy figure of some kind. You never get a glimpse of it, and as you dive back, each owner has been brutally murdered. But you never get a clear look at what it is. It's just a shadowy form. Comes out of nowhere, murders them, dismembers them, and sprays pieces of them all over the room. Or the sand, or the ground, wherever they happen to have been. But it comes out of nowhere, and it's just a shadowy figure.
Can I tell if it's it would be a corporeal, like a kind or kindred, or is it just a spirit? Or can I tell?
You can't tell.
Okay.
Based on some of the places they were killed, it would have been awful hard for a corporeal thing to just appear out of nowhere in a room and murder them.
Okay. Nicholas, this one's real problematic. It has a history. Its owners have a history of having a shadowy figure just come from somewhere, and well, basically tear you apart and spray you around wherever you happen to be, pieces of you. I get the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I get the feeling that this is a spirit figure that shows up, because some of the deaths will be really hard for someone who's corporeal to make that appearance.
I do believe, and he'll point to that ring specifically, we do not mention this one to Jackie.
Okay.
And I think it's probably best that we get rid of all of these.
Yeah, I think so. Because even though it's usually a while before the curse takes effect, you've got so many of them.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
As so many of the things we do seem like. Yeah, I think we should get rid of that. All of this stuff.
And you hear Etienne yell from down the hall, "Y'all done yet?"
Yes.
Yeah, done enough for now.
And he comes back down, and he's actually got a bit of a grin on his face. You can swipe in here for antiques.
You want to frisk us down and check us?
No, wait a minute. What did Peter tell me the other day? Is that a painting in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?
Always happy to see you.
And he says it with a straight face, though. He doesn't even grin. He just says it with a completely flat face.
We're always happy to see you, Eddie.
I'm happy to see you without bullet holes.
While I've got you here, Roscoe, any news on when we can find a way to dispose of those knives you have me holding?
Well, since we've come into acquaintance with the madam, he may be willing to trade them to us.
Not to question your judgment, Roscoe, but giving vampire killing knives to someone like her, I'm not sure that's I mean, there's worse people we could give them to, but off the top of my head, I can't name many.
We also have 3 of them. Perhaps we only need 2 of them. One, I imagine, is still very valuable.
Have we thought of just throwing them in a smelter somewhere?
Well, I'm sure you've thought of it.
I've thought of it. I've been
number of
commanded not to do it yet.
But yeah, we'd be probably not a bad idea to consider disposing of them too.
If my interactions with the madam are to be believed, the safest place we could put them is in her collection. As she would have me believe, at least.
I don't trust anyone that powerful.
Neither do I. But it may also be a useful test of her trustworthiness, I suppose.
I worry
perhaps we can start with the rings and the statue, and if prudent, perhaps move on to the knives.
If she's a collector of things and you give her 3, I don't think she needs 2 extras.
Which is why I said we only give her 1.
Yeah.
Which means we only have 2 to worry about.
We'll have to talk to Jackie about that.
Yeah, I agree. Now, one of the things that I did find out looking at some of the other objects was that the curse is not dispelled by destroying the object or changing its form, like melting something down and making something else out of it. It stays with. So I don't think just breaking the statue will help in this case.
Which, while brainstorming perhaps the madam has the means with which to, I imagine, a collection that vast and valuable has come with similar hiccups in the past. Perhaps she's aware of how to bypass some of this.
You know, something did occur to me at the end. How good are your interrogation skills?
I am a trained diplomat. I
Hmm.
served
Hmm.
Nolan for a number of years, then I've served Jackie for a number of years. Now, I will not claim I read people socially as well as she does, but
I wasn't really thinking in terms of diplomacy.
I have had to get my hands dirty to find out information on more than one occasion.
Because I think the conversation needs to be had with Benway. What exactly is the provenance of all these cursed items? And what the hell is he playing at?
And Etienne steps a little closer to you. And when he steps a little closer to you, suddenly his presence, the way he's just standing, his whole form seems to get a lot more intimidating. Like there's something about him that is, you feel the overt hostility as he stands there. I can be very persuasive, sir. And then he steps back and it's Etienne again.
I felt that. That may be very useful.
I have some of your gifts as well.
Very good.
We will have to speak with Jackie about it.
Agreed. I think we've seen everything we need or want to see.
Okay, well, let me shut it up. And he closes the door and locks it back.
And
we'll head
do
back
us all
that way.
Do us all a favor, Etienne. Until we've come to a consensus on what to do about this statue, probably best to stay away from here for now.
I only come
just
here
to be safe.
I only come here when Jackie wants me to pull something out of storage, put something in storage. She knows everything in here. So she tells me, yes, I want this painting or I want this statue, and I come and get it. And she cycles out. She can't always have the same art everywhere. It's an ongoing thing. She likes to be reminded of different times and different places, so she switches things out based on mood. But I may have to move this one to a different storage unit, just in case.
And move it to the place where you keep all the things you don't ever want to see again.
Well, I'm not going to put it where we put the bodies. That's a different discussion. But
okay.
From what you're saying of these kind of things, I don't want it bringing a body back from the dead or anything. That just...
Well, that doesn't seem to be part of its MO. So
besides, there are plenty of other ways to do that.
Now, see, that was meant as a joke, Nicholas. I'm trying to joke a little more because you all seem to be a little more casual about things. Don't respond to my joke with those kind of terrifying options.
Rob was just laughing.
Oh, Nicholas is deadpan the entire time. Like he's absolutely serious.
On that wonderful note, let's get out of here.
Okay, let's go.
And the three of you pile back in the car, head back into the night. And we now have to flash over to Jenny. Jenny, you have been summoned by Primogen Stewart because she's had an opening tonight and she asked you to come see her because you'd already mentioned you wanted to get on her schedule.
Indeed. Evan will drive me over to her, wherever it is she's having me meet her.
Stuart Fremont Academy.
Perfect.
Same place she met you last time. When you get there, the same girl is waiting for you on the stairs as you met last time that you came here. And she, oddly enough, appears to recognize you. Miss Schutz.
Hello again. I guess I left an impression on you.
Part of my duties as an assistant is to learn the names of everyone who comes to see Miss Stewart, so that I can better greet them. It's part of my schooling, actually.
Well, you were doing A+, so
I've come a long way. It really does help with the memory with these kind of things. But if you'll follow me, she is in her wing.
of course. Genevieve will follow her then.
And the place hasn't changed much from the last time came through here. It still has the same. You'll notice the plaques commending some of their best and brightest students, which is predominantly female, as she leads you back through to another wing. And when she knocks on the door, of course, Naomi opens the door. Thank you. Please, Jenny, come in. You wish to speak with me?
Yes, I do. Thank you for having me again, Miss Stewart.
And she walks you through part of the wing over to a sitting area. Please have a seat.
Genevieve will sit, and then she'll be like, thank you for making time for me, Primogen.
It's been busy. I'm sorry I couldn't meet with you sooner, but... yeah, the duties. We haven't had a Primogen in so long. You would be amazed of the backlog of things I have to deal with all of a sudden.
I believe it, and Chicago is such a boys' club. I'm sure they were more than happy to pile it on you, so...
A lot of it was unanswered requests, complaints, and things that they didn't feel they could bring to the prince, of course. But when they have no Primogen, they sat on it. Grievances. Dear Lord, so many grievances.
Well, at least, not to sound pithy, but at least they're finally seeing some sort of satisfaction, as it were, so...
Well, yes, and that was the important thing, and that's why I've been trying to knock them out as fast as I can to get everyone on the right frame of mind.
Working on your right hook. Sorry, that was a joke. I apologize.
And she actually looks at her nails. No, I don't generally use the right hook, but I do a very good front kick.
Excellent, Primogen. I apologize for my demeanor in front of you. I should be more cool and collected.
I've looked into you. I know you are laid back and relaxed, and generally are not one that's stuffy and formal. So you can be yourself.
I appreciate it. I truly do. I know the prince informed me that he would let you know about the Capone thing, but I asked him if I could speak to you about it myself, because we had come to the agreement about the Capone thing. So
yes, he informed me that Capone was taken care of. He didn't specify the full details of who did it. He just said Capone was taken care of, and to make sure that for the sake of the clan, that doesn't go any further.
Yeah, he told my associates and I that we were never to speak of it again, and I said I would never speak of it again after I spoke to you. So this is as far as it goes, as far as I am concerned. So
that was very smart, taking it to Jackson first, actually. There was no official blood hunt on that bastard.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the situation the way it was, we had the information and we had to move on it basically immediately. We didn't have time to seek out the sheriff or ask permission or run it past the prince or anything. So I do apologize in that regard, but we did what we felt was necessary for the stability of the domain.
So Jackson was not very forthcoming on details. Are you sure he's dead?
Yes, I saw him ashed before my eyes.
Very good, very good. And you are 100% sure it was him. I don't want to doubt your judgment, but the man is a cockroach. And like many cockroaches, you think you've killed them and they slither back out. And I want to make sure that this particular cockroach never slithers out from under a garbage can again.
No, it was definitely him, unless there was some sort of trick afoot. I would say he is 100% gone. We killed a multitude of his goons, himself as well. So
He is a egotistical, narcissistic pig. I doubt he would ever tolerate anyone as a stand-in for himself. His glory was in his own mind, at least. Too important to sully by someone else being him. So if you saw him for sure, there's little doubt that it was him and not, what do they call it now? A clone, a duplicate.
Yes, no, it was definitely him. He was all high and mighty, and he was laid low by a couple of women. So
I like that even better. I like that even better. So our deal was you would take him out and Clan Ventrue would look favorably upon it. I have decided, since you have handled this, first of all, a previous deal for your hotel, I no longer require a stake in it. And that comes not just from me, that is from a number of Clan Ventrue, though they do not know why.
I this is a nice turn of events. You'll still have to come visit it once it opens. So
I will.
We're getting close. We're getting close, but not quite there. So,
but I made sure that it was noted with the Keeper of Elysia to put it in officially in the record that Clan Ventrue will never have a stake in that hotel unless you wish it, or unless you somehow fall from grace.
Well, I certainly do not hope to fall from grace. So if I'm going to leave Chicago, I want to leave Chicago on good terms, not driven out or ashes in the wind, as it were. So
that's smart. I just wanted to make sure that if something happened to me as Primogen and we had a different Primogen, suddenly you weren't finding yourselves having to renegotiate, because it has now become an official position of Clan Ventrue. Whatever Primogen takes over is obligated to maintain that.
I appreciate your foresight. But I will say, not to put on airs, I truly hope that you have a long and fruitful reign as Primogen, because, like I said, the Boys Club of Chicago is kind of a drag. So
that it is. It's been stressful.
And not to be too forthright in my own regard in another way, but I hope I've proven useful in that possibly, while you are helming the Primogenship of Clan Ventrue, that possibly the clan looks favorably upon me in some regard. Not too much. I just mean that me and mine, we are reliable. We get things done.
Oh, you can rest assured I've made a note. I already was well aware of Mr. Ron's reputation. But the rest of you were unknown to me. And now I've heard odd rumors about your own pedigree and some of your own backers. Nothing confirmed, of course. But you can rest assured, if I have anything difficult that I need addressed in the future, I will definitely be reaching out.
See, now you have me curious. What have you heard, or maybe, cards on the table? I feel, I want us to have a good working relationship inside the city. One female to another female, instead of us being, we're not, I don't know. Like you said, I'm different. I don't play the games so well. So,
well, while your past is relatively unknown in this city, your driver, I happen to have found some info on. He is a noted associate of Fiorenza. And the only reason he would be here with you is if you are an associate of Fiorenza's.
Yeah. No. I am an associate of Fiorenza, Savona. I hope that is not a problem.
Oh, no.
Okay. I don't wish to cause waves with that. It's she and I have had a mentor student relationship for 40 years now. So
Her and I have
close to.
a friendly relationship. She helped me in some ways with this academy in setting it up. I did not need financial backing, but I did need, let's just call it, reputational backing. Because when you're trying to recruit and pull people from various universities and Ivy League schools, because you'd like them here, you need to have some sort of reputation behind that makes them willing to consider it. And that isn't something she assisted me with.
Well, she obviously saw that you are a strong woman who is more than capable. It feels like she reaches out to those that she knows are going to succeed. She doesn't put her efforts into people that are going to fail, is what I'm trying to say. So,
and Naomi laughs a bit. That shark made me promise to send her 1 out of every 3 of my promising graduates to work for her.
Oh, oof. She hasn't asked the big ask for me yet, but I'm always dreading the day. So
she's a shark, but it was still worth it because they work for her a while. And that cements their own reputations in the business world, depending on where they get attached. And eventually they don't work with her anymore and they're set on their way. So either way, my students come out ahead. And that is what is important to me.
Yeah, it's what is it? They're like the honor students. They're that is actually really cool. Thank you for sharing that with me.
But I only know that because, well, as I said, he is a noted associate of her, mainly because I've seen him with her before.
Evan and I go back a long way, and he is mostly harmless.
And she leans closer.
You know.
Did he tell you he was Gould in the 80s?
He hasn't really told me when he was Gould, but I know I started interacting with him sometime in the 80s, I believe it was.
He was Gould in the 80s, not the 1980s. And she leans back.
Oh no. Oh no. So I feel so bad for Evan. I've been cock blocking him for all these years, and his drought's longer than I even knew.
He plays his game. And he plays it well. Do not feel sorry for him, trust me.
Oh, no. I don't feel sorry for him. I love busting his balls. If it wasn't it, Evan and I have a unique relationship, as it were. He's done things and I've done things, and we both sat around and laughed about it. So, yeah.
Good. I doubt anyone else in the city would recognize him. I've only met him that once. And I made sure when I met him that one time that I dug into his history.
His sister?
His history.
Oh, sorry.
Well, she had him present in the meeting when she negotiated supporting this. And for anyone to be privy to that meeting made me wonder. But I am glad that you did this. And do not think that because I've given you your hotel back, that it squares us up. I still owe you personally. And the rest of your coterie.
Well, for my side of it, I'm hoping to be useful again in the future. I know once Amethyst is up and running, I'm planning on working on another deal that's going to be more South Side related, and hopefully I can use it I'll make sure you get in on the information that comes from it. So, because you have your holdings down here as well. So,
all right. I do, and I'm glad that that war finally eased off a bit. So, well, I do thank you. I do have other meetings. I didn't have much time to meet tonight, but I just wanted to make sure that you understood Clan Ventru is big on making sure that debts are paid correctly.
Oh, well,
and you can inform your friends that helped you with Capone that if they ever need something, they may call upon me.
I will let them know. And thank you for seeing me to this evening, Primogen.
Well, I always try to make time when I can for, well, ladies I think have potential.
Well, Genevieve will stand up and she'll extend her hand.
And Naomi stands up and she takes your hand and just kind of, she holds it with one hand and just lightly drags her fingers across the top of your hand with her other hand. I will walk you to the door.
Oh, thank you.
And she takes you and escorts you out, and you are once again on the other side of the door. Her assistant is waiting on the other side of the door. And when she opens the door, she, Miss Stewart, your next appointment just called and said they're about 5 minutes out, ma'am. Very good. When they arrive, just see them in. It's been nice speaking with you, Miss Schutz.
And is the pleasure's, words. I'm so excited. No, it's been a pleasure speaking with you as well, Miss Stewart. Hopefully we'll do this again soon.
And Naomi gets a smirk on her face when you stumbled over your words a bit. Perhaps we will. We'll see. And she turns and closes the door behind her as you're taken back to your vehicle. And when you get back to your vehicle, Evan's in the seat. That didn't take long.
Nope. Just like you, Evan.
Now see, that's wrong. Look, that was only one time. And
I have it on good authority. It's been more than one time.
No, did not last long. That was one time, okay? And I couldn't help it. They were twins.
Damn, Evan.
Couldn't help
Are we
it.
talking like girl, boy, boy, like
Boy, girl. Hey, once in a while I get a different taste, okay?
Genevieve like puts her hands on Evan's like sides of his head and she's just like shakes it and she's just like, get the fuck out of here, Evan.
Fine. Where are we going?
Yeah, fuck. She's looking at her watch. Take me back to Phoenix for the time being.
Okay. Will do. And he heads over towards Phoenix. And now we got a flash to Isabella. You've asked Honor to come visit you again because she's not living with you anymore, at least, sorry, not staying with you anymore. And she shows up at your bar. And when she comes in, she's kind of dressed differently than she used to be. She is, she comes in wearing leather pants, crop top, makeup all done up. And she comes in, Isabella, and she comes over to give you a big hug.
Isabella takes it. Good to see you, Honor. You going out? You look dressed up.
I mean, I was out earlier. I stopped in at a bar or two on the way here. Keisha's been teaching me a few things, and I've tested my technique.
Oh yeah, what's she been teaching you? I'm curious.
Better ways to pick people up, to hunt. Makes it a little easier for me. I mean, you can't.
Anything worth sharing?
Oh no, I'm sure you know these tricks. Let's just say with Decker, he wasn't one that taught me subtlety. He just was more of a smack somebody on the back of the head and then feed from him kind of person. I'm trying not to be that way now.
It's a good thing too.
That's the hope. That is the hope. So you said you wanted to hang out and talk? I mean, I was going to go hit more bars, but since I'm in the city and I'm here and you want to talk,
Yeah, of course. So I guess first, just how have things been overall? Keisha been treating you well?
she's been treating me well. She spends a lot of time gone. I mean, I seem to see her a day or two, and then I don't see her for like a week, and then I see her a day or two, and then I don't see her for a week. But that's fine. It gives me time to think and to do my own thing. So when she comes in, we go out and we go clubbing, and like I said, she's been teaching me some things. And then while she's gone, it's kind of funny. It's almost like when she's gone, every time she comes back, the first thing she wants to know is, how well what I've been doing and have I been using what she's been teaching me? I'd almost say it's a test, but it can't be a test. That's not how she would work. How have things been going for you?
Pretty good. Pretty good, I actually. Unfortunately, ran into Decker a little recently.
Oh, God. What's that shithead doing now?
Apparently, he's come into some funds and is threatening to use them for nefarious means.
Yeah, that motherfucker wouldn't. He don't know shit about money. Give him all the money you want. He's just going to piss it all away. It's okay. Nefarious means you say that to me like he's not up to everything's nefarious with him. He's a fucking shithead. He's always up to no good. I mean, come on, Isabella, name me one good thing he did. One good thing.
Oh, you're never going to hear a good... If he did it, it was never for a good reason.
No.
You'll never hear that from me, and you know that.
No.
I want to rip that man to shreds.
I've not
Literally.
heard one good thing that he's done. Though Keisha did tell me that he's kind of got his hands full now. Seems he's got a bigger lupine problem than he thought.
I did hear rumor.
Yeah, she told me the other day that something's going on with the ballpark and he had to move his haven, and he was real pissed about that.
Is it still a problem?
Oh, it's still a problem for him, sure.
He deserves it, especially with as much problems as he's given the lupine over the years.
Oh yeah, I know we generally don't get along with him, but if he had to move his haven, fuck him. That's my opinion.
I did actually have a tangential request. I was wondering if you've been spending a lot of time just out and about. Would it be possible for you to get some information about the anarchs around Chicago, just what they're up to? I feel like there could be something to do with Decker and where his funds are coming from.
It's funny you say that. It really is, because Keisha was suggesting to me that I go to this place. She called it the Pit, and hang out there sometimes. She just wanted me to go and, as she puts it, speak with people, talk with Mal Davis, hang out a bit, and just let her know what I see.
Does she have you go on spy missions often?
I mean, it depends on what you call. Wherever I go, she always asks me what was happening, what was going on. Always. So, but this was one of the first times she wondered if I could go and go to a specific place to check things. I don't know why she's interested in it, but I mean, she gave me the whole 9 yards. Watch what you say around Mal Davis. If you see a sniper on the roof, ignore him. That seemed like an odd thing to tell me, but
It's ominous.
that's what I thought. She, just the basic kind of stuff. Told me just go there, hang out, watch what I say to Mal Davis, but generally just be sympathetic. I'm good at sympathetic, I think.
You are. You've been through a lot. That tends to do that to a person.
Yeah, and I mean, I figure I owe Keisha because, I mean, she got me an apartment and shit there in Indianapolis and gives me something to do, you know?
Isabella like holds her hand out and grabs like Honor's chin. You owe nothing to anyone.
Well,
Remember
you know, I
that.
like to repay debt, so I figured, what the hell? Plus, I mean, since I'm practicing all this, and I mean, damn, I do think I look good in these jeans. I mean, leathers wasn't my normal thing, but I mean, I might as well go and see what happens.
Don't do anything you're uncomfortable with.
I generally don't. And one thing Decker did teach me that I guess maybe it is a good thing. One good thing, taught me to fight. And I doubt there's many in any of the bars around here that could force me to do anything I didn't want to do.
Oh, I mean beyond that. Isha, anyone.
Well,
Even if you feel like you owe them, you never owe them that much.
I guess that's kind of true. I'm just curious. I'm curious what she expects me to learn. Curiosity's always been my problem, you know?
Mine too.
Yeah. And we'll see how it works. But sure, I'll tell you what I find. Anything in particular you want me to look for?
You hear anything about Tavish? That's the real thing we're looking for.
McTavish. Heard that name.
The well-known one.
No, Keisha. She was meeting with him last week. She didn't tell me why, but I know she said she had to go meet McTavish. I don't know why. She hardly ever tells me why she's meeting with people. I hear who she meets with sometimes.
Are you still listening in? I remember last time we spoke, you told me you were eavesdropping on her.
Well, why wouldn't I? She's gotten smart about it, though. Now she leaves. Now she meets him somewhere else. She don't meet
Way to
with people
ruin
at her
your
place
fun.
anymore.
Ruins your fun.
Yeah, I know. It takes all the fun, but I guess in some ways it makes it more fun.
More of a challenge.
What I can get her to let slip. Look, I spent a lot of time in Decker's court not to play the game.
You do pick up a thing or two when you've spent time there, even if it's not intentional.
Knowledge is survival.
Anything you hear about Gary, Indiana, would also be much appreciated.
Keisha, I think, has been spending quite a bit of time there lately.
Yeah?
She hasn't said anything, but I just get this feeling. I'm not going to go into big details on it, but let's just say I have reason to believe that's where she's been spending a number of those days she's not visiting with me.
Honor, I hate to say this about someone you view as a friend, someone who's taking care of you even. But I'm concerned that her name's coming up as much as it has in something that's involved Becker's plans and being in line with it.
I mean, as long as I don't get caught in their plans.
Just make sure that doesn't happen.
I'll do what I can. I mean, we still hang out quite a bit. I mean, she's actually not a bad person. She really isn't. She's secretive, sure, but we all have our secrets. And she's genuinely nice, though, to people.
I'm not saying she's a bad person. I just wonder where her goals align with everything that's going on. and
suspect,
what her ultimate motives are.
I suspect her goals align with hers. Um, uh, since getting free of Decker, I've come to learn that most of our society tends to focus on themselves first. Not saying anything's wrong with it. Keisha's kind of convinced me that that's just the way the world works. Worry about yourself first. Everything else will take care of itself. And it actually makes sense. And so I expect her to be focused on herself.
At the same time, make sure that whenever you're focusing on your own risk, look at it from perspectives that aren't what you hear from Keisha. She's relied on you a lot. And some would even go so far as to say almost to an obsessive level.
I'll watch out
If
for
she's
myself.
looking for someone to be the face of her endeavors, like going to the pit, and someone who's there, you need to be careful that's not you. She's able to pin it on.
No, I'll make
Not
sure of
saying
that.
she
Don't
will,
worry.
but just be careful.
I think you're kind of reading her wrong in some ways, but I'll take what you're saying to heart.
I mean, like I said, believe it or not, I'm sure she thinks that she is entirely right and that she's doing what's best. But just make sure that aligns with what you want.
Go ahead and give me an insight roll, Isabella.
Desires or vices?
Trying to think. Don't think desires works. Vices can go with works.
And then what's the attribute?
That would be wits probably would be a good one. Trying to
Okay.
read her.
+1. Wow. Roscoe took my good roll.
Yeah, probably did. You've got 2 so far. Would you like to willpower that one?
I am. Not that it really mattered.
2. She, there's something, I can't give you much detail because you actually tied her. If you don't know any better, there's some sort of emotional bond between Honor and Keisha right now. It's the way her posture changed when you suggested Keisha could be doing her wrong.
Be careful. Isabella won't call her out on it directly. Be careful that you don't end up in a situation you were in previously where you weren't able to escape because you were under someone else's command.
Oh, I'm not under anybody's command. That's not going to happen again. I'm not going to get done to me what Decker did. Never again. I'll kill somebody first.
Slippery slope, trusting people, especially new people.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but you got to trust somebody. All of us have to trust somebody.
Trust yourself more than anything.
Well, yeah.
Even Keisha would agree with that.
Well, yeah, you always, as she says, look to yourself first. Well, I'm going to run. I'm going to go and there's a couple bars I want to hit on the way out of town. I just want to stop in.
Tell them I sent you. I built a good relationship with the bars nearby, so.
Okay, I'm just going to go see if I can get one of the men wrapped around my finger. I'm working on it.
I'm sure you'll do it in no time.
I'm trying. I'm getting better. I'm not as bad as I was, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And as she leans in, gives you another hug, and then turns and walks from the place. And you notice as she's walking, even her walk has changed from what it used to be. Before, she wasn't really She walked a lot like Decker. Like she was always expecting a fight, like she was always preparing for a fight. And now she's moving more like a cat's grace. Like a woman on the prowl, which is definitely not the honor that you remember for sure.
Isabella's like smile like falters as Honor starts to walk away.
And as Isabella's wondering, oh God, what happened? We now flash to Jackie. As you return from meeting with Cedric, Lamar has sent you a text that he's wanted to know if he could stop in to talk.
She replies that that's fine.
So I turned it over to you. Etienne has not returned yet.
Okay.
He's still out, but you have, you're back at your haven with Lamar. And I turn this over to you two before we go to break.
Please sit, Lamar. And you can tell
Thank you.
Jackie's a little off.
You good?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. Met an interesting individual tonight, and I need to find out more.
When you say interesting, is it interesting like, hey, might want to talk to this guy, or hey, Lamar, I want you to put him in the lake?
No.
All right.
I think I might know him,
Oh, all right.
but it can't be. That's why I need to find out.
All right. Well, you need some help with that. You let me know.
Thank you. So, what do you need?
Well, first and foremost, my little foray over to the west side to look into that fight turned up absolutely fucking nothing. So, gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that.
Who was... the Nosferatu fighting?
I'm under the impression it was a shepherd, one of the splinters of the Banu Hakim.
From the schism they had.
Yes.
Oh, fucking fascinating. So they're coming to destroy the ones that didn't align with them.
Yep.
Yes, okay. That makes sense. Yes. So I found out some interesting things about that one with the mask. They are called the Withered Ones.
Okay.
It's relating, they worship the Nituku. Don't know if you're familiar with that term.
I'm not, but that doesn't sound very, that doesn't sound like they're the good guys in this.
No, not really. Basically, their goals are to destroy other Nosferatu. It's a cult, basically.
Fuck. I need to call Nick then and tell him to watch his back.
Yes, absolutely. He may already be aware. I don't know. Because when Eka knows, Cedric knows, it's possible he already is aware. But do it, a good thing. I may have some work for him, actually. Let him know when you talk to him.
I'll reach out tonight.
Appreciate it. But yes, they are, I learned that one of their tactics is when they initiate someone in, they will basically leave them in the sewers somewhere alone, and they have to make their way back to the cell.
That's fucked.
And if they survive it, they're in the cell.
That sounds uncomfortable, like a
Yes.
mass embrace.
Yes. But, so needless to say, I believe this one was alone, as you saw, and working his way back to wherever his other cultists were. And just happened to cross paths with this shepherd and fought. So I'm not surprised you didn't see anything. He's probably not there anymore.
Well, shit.
And the masks themselves are made out of some kind of leather. I believe they might be skinning something. I held one in my hand. tonight.
What is it with people and skinning things in this town and using it for other stuff?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and file that with the Department of Weird Shit.
Yes.
Uh,
But anyway, Antoine Delacour will be making an appointment to speak with all of us soon. He is a Nosferatu from Europe. He was the one that brought the information on these individuals to Waneka. He's the one I saw when I returned, and I met with him tonight. He's also the one I think I might know, but it's impossible if he is who he seems to be. So that's why I need to find out more about him. But yes, Cedric would like for us to work with him, and Cedric's also going to give some of his assets over to Antoine to assist with this. So Antoine's not going to be constantly with us. He will be networking with us, as it were, to span out, to look into this.
that works. The more eyes we have on it, the better.
Mm-hmm.
It'll,
Because I guarantee if we are looking for these, they, hide out underground, of course. They can go very deep underground. If we happen to see them, we might also find some of the shepherds you are looking for.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. The sooner we do that, the sooner we can address that problem.
Exactly.
But all right.
So.
On
So don't consider finding nothing a loss. It is expected.
That's fair.
Yes. While you were busy doing that investigation, we did find out some information on the whole bullshit with Decca and Gary and all that crap. Believe it is Prince Maxwell, who was prince here before Loden.
I was going to ask you that because.
Bruja.
Okay.
He has, I believe, convinced former Prince Peterson that he has backing to reclaim his princedom. The same account gave money to Decca and to Amelia Lark, and I spoke with Amelia. She has been receiving in piecemeal assets, holdings of her sires in the city. And the most recent was an acquisition of a warehouse, an empty warehouse, as far as she knew. I was able to convince her to allow those of us who were available to go and inspect it. There was a spot in the concrete floor that Roscoe was able to see glowing. And when it was cracked with large crowbars, it exploded upwards. It was with blood sorcery in a rune to explode upwards, and there was a stairway down to the Undercity.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes, and there was a number of sewage grates outside behind the loading dock where they could potentially flood it. And, well, there's feral Norse down in those areas of the Undercity.
Okay,
So they flood them, make them crawl up. And there's Masquerade breaches all over the place. It brings Cedric involved because he's the primogen. Why didn't he take care of this? It gets Waneka off the board because Waneka's tasked to take his army to deal with it. Oh, yes.
Then we're screwed because we can't escape the club if someone comes after us.
We'll be fine. I've already notified Cedric.
Okay, good. So he knows what's going on.
Yes,
All
because
right.
he's very upset that someone would want to involve Nosferatu without negotiating that deal.
And you said this is Maxwell and Peterson doing this?
Oh, yeah. And Decca. We saw Nosferatu escape from one of the sewage grates. Wasn't a feral one. He seemed very cognizant based on his movements, moved very quickly, and was heading north. Towards Milwaukee.
Wow, Deckard, why don't you just draw a big sign that says, "Hey, I'm a dumbass. I want you, come kill me now."
Exactly.
All right.
So we are working on it. Jenny has basically secured the hatches, and she will be securing other hatches. There was one other warehouse in the east side that also had this similar hatch mechanism. Roscoe was able to look at Amelia's other holdings that she had received from her sire to investigate them. And so basically, yes, we are securing the hatches, and I am leaving it to the Norse to handle making sure that those sewer grates are not an access either.
All right, good move there. But what are you going to do with the information? I mean, do we have anything that proves that it's
Not
Maxwell?
yet. I'm still working on that. But I feel it in my gut. It's what it is. But I have to, just like I knew certain things in Southside, I had to wait until getting the proof. Like the Anarchs. Heard rumors about it, and then we got the proof.
All right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, because as good as I am not going to go in with conjecture, because nobody cares about conjecture, even if it turns out right.
All right, so what's the play for now, then?
For now, Isabella is asking Anna to listen in on Anarchs around our city to see what they hear about Gary and other things. It is going to require eyes and ears all over the place to suss this out. And Roscoe is giving information to his associate, Ambrose, to track down further because we got more information from Amelia about other holdings that were recently given and also anticipated to be given, one of which she has a shipping company and she's expecting another shipping company. So, those things will be important for Ambrose to be able to track what is going on with them. I will leverage my contacts as best as I can to try to find out what the hell is going on down there.
All right.
And even in Milwaukee, because I have contacts there too. So.
Shit, I just wish I could do a little bit more here because this is a higher level than I'm used to playing at, but
I understand. I know. And I don't expect all of you to be able to involve yourselves in it. Unfortunately, due to the nature of my work, I sometimes have to get involved with higher political things. But because ultimately my task is to find information, but also ensure stability to not bring just a cause into a city. So, yes. Yes. But no, if you happen to hear anything, but do let Nick know that I may have some work for him.
yeah, I'll call him today.
Okay.
And then
It's not urgent. It's not urgent. At his convenience.
All right. Should I have him meet you at the club if he's available?
Yes, that would be perfect.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
Lamar.
Hey, you're welcome, and keep your head up.
You do the same.
Gotcha.
How's the child?
Full of fucking questions.
And she gets up as you get up, and she puts a hand on on your shoulder. They always are. They always are.
it stops, right? Though, like
Oh,
they finally get it.
well, they eventually do get it, yes, and they do become competent, and I believe she is going to be a very talented childer for you. Just give her time.
She's got some promise in the brains department. She picked up a couple of things that I didn't see when we were looking around. So
Hey, that's good. That's good. Well, I will let you go for this evening. I have a few things to attend to.
all right, I'll catch you later.
Okay.
And Lamar heads on out. Right here, it's been a long first half. It's more like the first 3 quarters, but there's some important scenes, and I wanted to give everyone their screen time, and that's what's important with this. The breaks are wherever we want them, and in this case, the break is now. So I will see everybody in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the break.
Allow me to introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story from the lips of Bathory? They call me King Demon, Queen of Hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, beautiful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Or je blood Bathory? I was very wealthy and powerful, a widow with political rivals keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered. All my confessors were all tortured, or how they destroyed me for my property. They put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Bathory. Let's King Demon, Queen of Hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator who can't remain the prey, you have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you? Or is it me? Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. So embrace the darkness, that will help you see that you can be limitless and fearless if you follow me. We are the lions in the world of lies. We are the predators, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive?
Welcome back. We had a long first half, but hey, we decide when the breaks are. And a lot of shit had to get done. And as we go into the second half, the coterie is actually meeting at Jackie's Haven on the rooftop this week too. Just change of pace, since no one goes up there unless Jackie opens it to allow other people up there. And as you're gathered around this pool, I mean, it's cold, but you're kindred. What do you care? At least the water's cold. It's not heated yet. And I turned it over to the players. Now, Etienne came back fine. He gave you a brief rundown that it's cursed as fuck.
I know he did not say to her, it's cursed.
No, he said it's cursed and it seems to drive people mad. And he also told you that they asked him to step out of the storage locker to talk privately amongst each other.
All right. I will go have a conversation.
He is obligated as your ghoul. When you say, well, how did it go? He told you how it went.
And she goes up to meet everyone else up on the roof.
Okay. Turn it over to my players on the roof of Jackie's Haven. This is the next night from the previous night, just so you know. It's been another night because a lot of shit was going on that first night.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Good
Jackie.
Good evening.
I want to give all of you a good piece of news. Not, just in case there's bad to follow. I figure I'll start with good. Clan Ventru views us as a group favorably and owes everyone a favor, as it were. So Primogen Stewart was extremely happy with what we did. So
Excellent. I'm sure she
I'm-
would be. He was a sexist and a racist.
yeah, she was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Oh yes, I watched him turn to ash in front of me." She's like,
Oh,
"Are you
yes, I
sure?"
hear
And
him in my
said,
head sometimes.
Oh, see, I didn't want to let her know that.
No.
But I was just like, no. She really enjoyed the fact that I mentioned he had been brought low by a couple of women. And so she was so happy that it wasn't any of the guys who finished him off, as it were. So, but yeah, no.
No, Isabella, you were integral in that success.
Oh, I mean, it was a tag team effort.
What am I gonna do with all of these favors I'm owed? This is the good time to be undead.
Yes.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, though, but our kill list does continue to grow, so I need
Excellent.
to call in favors at some point.
Anybody easy for us to kill, because it's been a while since I've
Oh,
let it off
you
the
itching?
chain.
You itching to get some steam blown off?
Every once in a while you feel the urge to sink your claws into something, and I won't deny that.
Hey,
Look, I am still of the clan Gangrel. Sometimes whatever.
I had claws, I feel the same way.
well, good.
While we are continuing with the thoughts of murder and bad news, your suspicions were correct, Jackie. Your statue is extremely problematic.
Of course it is. What is the history of it, Roscoe?
Well, like the other things I've had to look at, every owner comes to a bad end eventually. For this statue, all the owners are initially good people, but they're corrupted, and they're eventually driven mad and end up going on a killing spree.
That is definitely problematic. Did you find anything with your skills, Nicholas?
I cannot be certain with the timelines involved, but it seems that the statue also messes with the veil between this world and the other.
Yes. I believe it would be most appropriate for me to find out if the madam might like to get that statue as payment for what I owe her. And I will disclose its curse, because she has the Hope Diamond. That is rumored to be cursed all to hell.
Speaking of cursed objects, I think we may be able to solve one problem with another. I'm sure Etienne has made you aware that Roscoe and I had a private conversation while assessing the statue.
Of course he did.
While we were at Dr. Benway's shop, I came into some items. As you know, my plan tends to be manipulative of spirits and the belongings treasured to them.
Yes, I believe you had told me that you had gotten some jewelry.
I am different in that I don't believe it is fair to the spirits. It's just as easy to get them to cooperate out of common courtesy if convinced. Unfortunately, it seems that every one of the rings purchased from Dr. Benway also bears a curse. One of which may solve one of our problems. It seems that when the owner possesses it at some point, a spirit decides to explode them.
Like blow them up?
Yes.
I believe like the cartoon coyote.
I couldn't imagine a better fate for a snake. My vote is Keisha.
Oh, what has she done now?
He is suspiciously involved in all of the money transfer. Like, she's involved. I don't know how yet. She's been going to Gary. She's been meeting with McTavish. She's asked Honor to spy in the pit for her. She's involved. At the very least, even if she's not, she's further corrupting Honor. I think she has her bonded.
Isabella, you had me as she exists.
Oh, me as well. I just wanted to know, because
I
I had planned, my plan initially was to allow Keisha to try to do her little anarch revolt in Milwaukee and then run in and basically squash her under my shoe like a bug. But no, I believe you're right. I think we need to expedite her execution. Nicholas, this object, is it a ring?
It is.
Excellent. I would love to have this ring.
So,
But only temporarily to make sure, because it's not going to be mine. It's a gift for someone else. I will make sure that Bella and Anita owes me because she did not destroy a Luke as we agreed. She will give the ring as a gift to Keisha by way of honor. Because if Anna is a liaison for Keisha, Anita's not stupid, she'll know. Just a gift.
We need to make it clear that whenever Honor takes us, however, it is not hers.
Yes.
Yes, it seems with these objects, ownership is an important thing, I believe Roscoe said.
Mhm.
Yes, that is the case.
Perhaps that is why the statue has not been corrupting me, because I don't consider I own it. I was legit just holding it for that gentleman that wanted it, that bought the tongue to collect it, and he obviously isn't interested, so now I'm going to see if the madam wants it. And if he ever does show up looking for it, I'll say, go talk to the madam. Not my problem.
It is also fortunate that I don't view these objects that I procured in the typical fashion of my plan.
Indeed. But yes, definitely get rid of whatever you can that you need to, but the one with the ghost that makes people explode, yes, I want that one to go to Keisha.
So Nicholas will start rummaging around through his pocket and set the ring on a table in front of Jackie.
So he's been bringing it. He's got it in his pocket right here.
Oh, this way. He knows exactly where it is at all times now. He doesn't own it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I will make sure this gets to the owner it needs to get to.
It seemed imprudent to come to a decision and dispose of this with haste.
I understand.
How many of those things do you have?
Are we including the one on the table?
Holy shit, there's more than one.
Of course there is.
Including the one on the table, there are 7.
What do the rest of them do? Or should I not ask?
I didn't have the occasion to look at all of them yet. I mean, we'll figure it out as time goes by. But I think it's pretty safe to say that everything that comes from Benway is similarly cursed. And I think maybe we should have a conversation with him to figure out where these things are coming from.
Only if it ends with my double-barreled shotgun in his forehead.
It very well might come to that.
Roscoe, I'd like to ask you, if possible, if you have not done it already because you've been busy with other things. I understand you've been busy. Please forward the information to Ambrose.
Yes.
I have discussed with Cedric the problems with the Undercity and the Feral Nos and the sewer grates that need to be addressed. He was very upset that someone would basically use the Nos in this way without negotiating a deal. And so, yeah, he was a bit miffed. He also seems to have an understanding of the blood sorcery that was used. He said it is not Tremere. So,
Who else does blood sorcery?
well, Cedric does. He made that everlasting rose, remember?
No, that's true, yeah.
But
right.
I don't believe it was him.
Aren't some of the thinner blooded able to
Replicate something similar? Maybe, but I don't know. He seemed to know something about it, but he said it was clan business. So I did not press. I imagine he will handle it, though. He seems to be a man of action. But I will say that Cedric is going to have someone set an appointment to meet with us soon. I actually met another Nosferatu. It was one I had seen but not met yet when I first returned from Europe at Waneka's camp. Looking into the masked Nosferatu. I believe we will all get some favors out of that if we assist. So. But yes. So expect that Mr. Antoine Delacour will be meeting with us at some point at the club. And Cedric did say he would give some of his assets to assist Antoine. So we aren't going to have to do everything with him, as it were. So. But yes, sorry we can't let you put your claws in Keisha.
I'm sure the city will give us plenty of opportunities to get the dust off of them, I suppose.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I personally would love to see Marcel killed, but you know.
Yes, I am
Uh,
personally not fond of having to go through him if I need a higher ruling on anything.
Well, you know, he still has, as far as I know, still has that book, the strangely bound book.
Mm-hmm.
And he does consider it his. So you never know. I mean, I don't know what the exact curse on that one item is, but it should be taking effect on him at some point.
Marcel goes, then Prince Jackson has to.
He caused the destruction of multiple neonates. Because he is Portia's pawn.
I don't suppose there's any way we could get this ring to her.
Oh no, she's too smart for that. Too skilled. Considering
One
she
can
tried to
always-
read my mind the first time I freaking saw her. She's very skilled.
I suppose you don't live that long and not be.
Right. So no. But Keisha is young. And while she is very captivating and charismatic, I don't believe she is as skilled. She relies on manipulating others to do dirty work. Yes. She pats the ring. This will be a perfect gift for her. Is there anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
I think that's it for my good news.
Productive meeting. We actually managed to potentially knock someone off the kill list.
Exactly.
Usually we just have to plan, but we have a solid action plan now.
Let me know the next time Anna's with you. When I go to the pit, I don't want Anna to be there.
I mean, let me know when you go, and I'm sure we can have a fun night out.
I will arrange it.
Yeah, sorry, you guys talking about the pit. I've been remiss in not actually doing anything about the McTavish problem, and I'm kind of been dragging my feet on that one. So, yeah, I'll probably Anyway, sorry, that's my own problem. I'm just
No, it
thinking
is all our
aloud.
problem. It is all our problem.
Yes, but
Because what affects one affects us all.
yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fun. And also, no, Nicholas, I won't be dusting my claws off on a fucking friend of the court. How satisfying that would be, but you know,
He serves a purpose for now. He keeps the Primogen basically at each other instead of taking power from Prince Jackson. So he serves a purpose for now. But I am very upset that he caused the destruction of young ones.
Oh, it slipped my mind, and it's not important, but just so you all know, the new and improved baby chorus is they're all kindred.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And
So-
the redhead was using.
You didn't notice that was
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The giveaway is the fact that like they weren't really sweating and they weren't really breathing, even though they were banging around away on their instruments and belting away. Though I will say, the vocalist does seem to use a little bit of the powers so that she can kind of sway the audience a little bit to her favor. So it's not.
It was
full
very
blast.
subtle.
Yeah, it's not full blast. It is very, very, very subtle. So, but yeah, no, they're all kindred, which was kind of interesting. Though I don't know what was up with Damien's outfit. So
Perhaps more good news for me is yet to come. That reminds me. What was the description of the ghost that was watching Jenny?
nothing in particular about the nothing different about the ghost. It just was a average looking as the rest of them, but it kept looking at Jenny for some reason.
Male, female,
It was a man,
man.
30s.
So I'll give it like a rough description of the ghost. There was a spirit watching you.
I mean,
That
I am
night.
something to behold, but no. So this is not one of like the madams.
No.
Okay, fuck if I know then. I mean, look.
They're all around, so it's not like.
I mean,
if I have a ghost following me from Vegas, they took a fucking road trip. But even then, I'm thinking like, fuck if I know.
the only reason I feel it stands out is the saxophone player. He was holding the spirits that were present in sort of a rapt attention, except
Okay.
for this one, which was
Okay.
focused on you.
So that one might have been ordered to do it.
Mm.
Well,
I forgot, but I feel that bringing up Baby Chorus, it reminded me.
oh, I gotcha. I was gonna say, I mean, I can't do anything about it personally. So I mean,
And- I just with your excellent record of defenestration, I wasn't sure if it was someone from your past or
The stealer of memories watches from the shadows.
what?
What?
I just that was just a voice in my head just now. The stealer of memory watches from the shadows.
Nicholas, take a look.
I'll throw on Oblivion Sight.
What's awareness, please? With your
From-
Oblivion sight.
Does concealed objects?
Of course. It is attempting to not be seen. A 3.
I am going to
Willpower, of course. Everyone always loves to use a willpower like that.
I haven't used it yet today, so
Wow,
It's a
6. Definitely. It's actually not even on this building. You barely catch a glimpse of it on a building across the way. It's across the street, good distance. But there is a shadowy form that you barely can make out. It is doing something to hide itself. But it is definitely not on your side of the shroud. And
is there anything?
when
Sorry,
it realizes that you seem to be looking its direction, it steps back into the building through the wall and disappears.
Is there anything familiar about this from when I was around Zal?
Nope. You've never seen. I mean, it was doing a damn good job at hiding 6 successes, though. That was enough.
It seems it was watching Roscoe.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. It just popped into my head.
Mm. What did it do?
Roscoe.
It was attempting to hide, and once it noticed,
Where?
Nicholas will point where he saw it.
And
Okay.
it's another. It's not as high as the building you're in because it would block the view, but it's a less fancy apartment buildings, shorter, so it doesn't block everybody's view. But it's there.
And it was most definitely on the other side.
Excellent. And it did it go into the building?
I think that's what he said, yeah.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to buy that building and destroy it. And there's going to be a park put there.
What did it have you say again, Roscoe?
What's that, Isabel?
What did you say?
The stealer of memory watches from the shadows.
That's the one
Not
that
Tally.
No.
Perhaps this is the spirit that has been
Taking things from Zol.
Maybe.
Yes.
My other thought is Brayden's missing
Brayden.
memories. Right.
Hmm.
Which is why
Hmm.
Allie comes to mind.
I understand. I will say, though, Brayden presents more like someone who's had kindred altering memories.
I imagine whatever has happened to Zal, this
Zal
Seems-
presents very differently.
it's probably a kindred able to use spirits to do things. Interesting.
So what have we been pulled into? And she's looking at Nicholas, and she looks at Roscoe, but she's mostly looking at Nicholas.
So Nicholas will pull the other rings out of his pocket, and it's like, it might be one of these.
No, I believe your family member that threatened you is
Oh,
having us
yes.
watched.
Mr. White Suit Chucklefuck.
And it might be him, but I've heard some rumors, just here and there, that the more advanced that you get with some of our abilities, some of us have been known to cross into the realm of the dead as well to spy on people or ambush them. So we can't rule Tally out,
That is true.
but yeah, we just might want to be very careful.
I really don't
Whatever.
think he would be back in this city, though.
Oh, I mean, to mess with you, to flaunt that he feels untouchable. I mean, he's done it before. Not saying he'd do it now, but
I don't really care at this point, because I just know I'm not going to do anything right now. I have eternity. I can wait for him to least expect it. And she sits back and just grins.
And it
I
could
like that.
most definitely be Alessandro continuing to toy with me, despite the fact that I've effectively done exactly as he warned me and have stayed away from Zal. But perhaps if it's him and he's pressing the issue, perhaps.
Oh, he's just curious about who your associates are.
I wonder. Yeah, pull out some ribbon from one of my pockets. I think maybe we should see if Tally's been around.
Intelligence and blood sorcery as you invoke your ritual. You have seen his face. You do know what he looks like. And then you'll need a rouse check as well. And we shall see what you get. And you get hungrier. And your beast speaks in your head. You don't want to find him. You know what his daughter did. Do you want to face her father?
I'd say yes.
6. The difficulty is
Oh,
the
it's
level
the
of
end
the
of the
ritual
session,
plus
willpower.
4. So you got no, it's difficulty plus 1, isn't it? Yeah. So difficulty's 3, your margin is 3. Now you do intelligence survival, and your target or difficulty on that one becomes 3 due to your margin. So have fun. So it's going to be, your next one is intelligence survival. And yes, you get to use your specialty.
Okay, disregard that. I forgot to add the +1.
Because you said disregard it before the results showed up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, otherwise, yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. Let's see what he gets. Intelligence and survival. And he throws the dice, and he gets 7 successes with a critical. It's very good. As you concentrate on it, you know it has another end. Because, well, there's no real range to it. It's just a range of seeing where the trail is. But you don't see any trail on the other side of the street at all. You don't see a trail anywhere that you can look, and I assume you walk around the edge of the building to look.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You see no trails anywhere.
What about Amelia DiCarlo?
I have to rerun the ritual for that.
No, he's never seen her face.
He's never seen her face.
None of you have.
I wondered. Well, I've seen pictures.
No, you
Have I?
saw a
No.
description of a picture.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So it wasn't Tally. He hasn't been here the last day.
Well, that's one ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see who it is. Tomorrow I buy the building and set it up for demo.
Diabolical, and I love it.
I'm rich. I can make it real damn inconvenient for them.
I mean, that is one way to flex. I think that's what the kids say. So
Yes, please remind me to stay on your good side.
Ah, yes. Well, very good. So, on that note, let's return inside.
And as Dakota goes back inside, I believe Isabella and Jenny had something they needed to do separate from the coterie before they go inside.
Genevieve will actually kind of not grab, but Isabella, is this good enough time for you, or?
Yes, I think so.
Genevieve's just like, we'll catch up in a minute. So don't you guys have too much fun without us?
They couldn't have fun without us. Let's be honest.
True. Once everybody has gone back inside / downstairs, not out here, So you're looking to access some of the gifts that I have access to?
Yes, I need a favor, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
After the whole being someone's prey, House of Lilith, and being that subject to it, and to another's whim without like anything at my disposal to really help.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about future plans for Decker, I believe I could have use of some of your gifts.
Well, I completely understand where you're coming from. I've been in a similar situation of that powerless feeling and just knowing that you can't do shit about it, or feeling like you can't do shit about it. You have your own talents, of course, but I mean, what are you looking for? Because I have to be able to like kind of guide you a little bit. So
Funny that you mentioned sharpening claws earlier.
mm-hmm.
Those physical traits are more what I'm thinking.
Okay. Interesting. I'm sorry. I'm just imagining a Toreador with and just but I'm sure it's been done. You know, it'd be so gosh, but or gauche, whatever. The fucking pomp is bullshit. You know,
The things I do for revenge, Jenny, you know, I do anything to come up with the best revenge plot possible.
oh no. I personally think it's beautiful. So you know, I think we can do that. I apologize. I know there's usually some sort of like transactional whatever here of like, you give me this, I give you that. I'm happy to help a friend. So you've been a friend to me, and you've gone some places with me recently that I didn't really expect anybody would follow, and you have followed me. So yeah, I appreciate that. It
Of course.
means a lot.
You know I would do whatever you needed, even after this. Probably more so because I'll feel like I owe you, even if I don't actually. But I'll continue. Yeah.
Oh,
Got for you, of course. Not that you need it, but I'll help where I can. How about that?
we all need somebody to watch our backs at times. So I'm not this invincible wall that I put on a front to a certain degree. I have a lot of confidence in my abilities, but I've found myself lacking. You know, you and Jackie got to duke it out with Al Capone, and I was stuck pounding the fucking floor. So
I mean, hold up. You like basically single-handedly took out someone. Like Jackie and I had a tag team. Like you.
Sorry, you were not here. You weren't here to see some of my finer one-on-one work. There was some jockey dude in a polo shirt and there was a poor woman in a cage. Anyway, those are kind of pathetic examples now I think about it. God, Chicago has made me so fucking lame. No. Okay. So Genevieve is going to first things first, she's going to rouse for claws. She's going to re-roll that. Sweet. So she's going to grow claws, but she's really only going to grow like her index finger into a claw. And she's going to slice into her wrist, but then she's going to has to rouse to well up the blood. Yes.
That's correct. And you did not get hungry.
She'll offer her wrist towards Isabella.
And Isabella drinks.
Okay, so as you've taken a sip from her and you taste this kindred vitae, so you are aware, a 1 point blood bond is not a full blood bond, but that does make you for the next month a little more inclined to at least listen to her. You do not have to make rolls to ignore what she says, but from a role-playing perspective, it does make
Did
you
I-
at least listen.
Did I forget to mention that I have Bond Junkie and Long Bond?
We'll deal with that later.
That's
We will deal with that part later.
Brilliant.
Whoops. Oh, well.
Well, here's the thing. Isabella would probably not realize she's a Bond junkie or Long Bond. How would you notice that?
Vivian, probably.
But you wouldn't notice it because you have nothing to compare it with.
You have nothing to compare it
That's
to.
fair.
Mhm.
Whatever. I
Uh-huh.
guess it's now we all know, and Isabella is like SOL.
So that says it's, that means you listen even a bit more. It's still not the equivalent of a full Bond,
Yeah.
but you are, let's just say, because the blood bond invokes a sense of love, you're feeling close to Jenny for the next 2 months. Oh, no, sorry, 3 months.
I mean, I am pretty awesome. So
I'll go to the end of the earth for you, boo.
so okay, so Genevieve is going to, of course, like pull her wrist back, and she's going to like lick it to close the wound, just kind of rub her wrist. So I know for me it's more natural because these are my natural gifts. One of many. Sorry. You have to. I'm assuming you're not necessarily close to the wild, and no offense if you are. It's kind of that feeling you get. You have to, if you can focus on. So, like, unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of, we've got the urban jungle here, but like, I'm sure there was, the greenery in the vineyards and springtime and nature in, Italy. You can focus on. If you can focus on sort of that kind of being in nature, kind of thinking about it, but not being in nature, but being like the predator in nature. Does that make sense?
It does, actually.
Okay. If you can focus on that, you should be able to kind of feel yourself kind of like attuned to that kind of feeling. Like for me, it means I can see in the dark. It means I can grow claws. For you, it could, I don't know, if you have the aptitude, you might be able to grow claws too, if that's what you're, trying to do. So the claws are a little bit more, you have to think more of like predator even more so. But like for now, just kind of thinking about, you're kind of, you're stalking as it were. So
I will work on this, Jenny.
Oh, perfect. If you got more questions, I'll try and help. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not really sure. I just know people told me like, oh yeah, you got to think about look, when I got some of my tricks in Vegas, the person telling me was just kind of like, imagine you're not there, be zen. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Whatever. I am not here. And then of course, I access some new gifts. So hope this works for you though.
I appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll have lots of questions along the way.
You know what? We'll work through this together. It's first for all of us. Plus, like I said, I like you. I like the coterie. I like everybody. I want you guys to be safe. So I want to help you guys best I can. So
We do the same for you, obviously.
I know. But, I'm that stoic comedic type or something. I don't know.
And
We should go inside though.
As the girls head back inside, right here is where we leave season 7, episode 5, everybody. Wow, that'd be interesting to see how Isabella's going to start acting because, well, she's a Bond junkie. And,
Jenny's got a girlfriend.
And I'd like to thank
what?
my players for this amazing episode of. Second half is a lot shorter, everybody, but the first half was real long.
half was real long. So
I'd like to thank the players, of course. The player vote. Everybody gets the XP this week. They're just determined to keep doing this. Told you I'd pull a rug on y'all.
And I just got shatter.
I told you I'd pull a rug on you all. And trust me, a rug has been pulled whether you know it or not. I have pulled the rug out from under you all in one way or another after last week. Get some extra XP out of me. You know I'll make you pay. It's okay. Now, of course, if you like what we're doing, please join us on the Discord. This is where we cast our shows from. You can talk about the show there. We do weekly Zoom hangouts. It's just a good place to be. You can get all the inside tips. You can see the pictures of the SBCs. Those are in the Windy City art, so you can see who they're talking about half the time. So, yeah, pop over to Discord. It's a good place to hang out. We've got some amazing people. Of course, you want to catch our back episodes? That's what YouTube is for. Pop over to the YouTube. You can catch all the Windy City back episodes. The back episodes of Demon, Mage, Werewolf, Changeling, Wraith, Jesus Christ, Bluebeard's Bribe, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, Paranoia, Monster Hearts. Dear God, we've got so many things, back episodes that...
all the TTRPG content.
Everything except for Call of Cthulhu and Dungeons & Dragons.
Which that's on the Ishfel.
Go to Ishfel.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can see those. Of course, if you want to support or see some amazing content creators like Isabella and Ivy Raven here, right there in chat's a link to their Twitch. You can go over, give them a follow so you can check them out. Hell, give them subscribe. Just throw some money at their way. Toss money at your monitor. We love that kind of stuff. And if you want to get some Windy City merch, over there in chat. This hit list, good thing Relin hasn't made it because it would be out of date already. There's so many adjustments.
I know.
Welcome to Vampire, where you always want to go kill somebody else.
It's a thing.
That's a thing. And of course, everybody, you want to support the players. You want to give something to the players for all the hard work they put into this show. Of course, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. If you want to give something to Relin or I for the studio, that is where you could subscribe here on Twitch or pop over to our Ko-fi and you can give money to the studio. But other than that, bits and donations are for the players. It's a way to show them you really enjoy what they're doing in their role play. And damn, I'm through my part and can turn it over to my wife for the schedule because, oh shit, it's a schedule.
Yeah. We're kicking into summertime now, y'all, and summer always picks up for us here at McStabber Studios with more streams for you. So thank you so much for joining us for Season 7, Episode 5 of Windy City After Dark today. Coming up tomorrow, we have at 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday the 11th. Monday the 11th of July. God, this month's already almost halfway over. Kids on Bikes. With Ravnos Archon running that, it's going to be crazy. You're going to see some familiar faces that have been in other games that we have run, but you haven't seen them in a while, so you want to tune in to check that out. Kids on Bikes is set in a town in Massachusetts called Ewards Hollow, and it's 3-session miniseries, so it's going to be 3 Mondays in a row starting tomorrow, and it's going to basically, each session is going to be a time period of their development, basically as children, teens, adults dealing with a very spooky town. Kind of like Stranger Things. Kids on Bikes. Join that on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern as that premieres. And then on the 12th, which is Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, is Demon. You will see all 3 of us ladies here, along with Unconscious Celestial and Evie Eternal and Maddox, with Shanky running it at 8 p.m. Eastern Tuesday. That is live. I have no idea what we're going to get into Tuesday. We shall see. We shall see. We've had a lot of stuff going on. We might get to see what these demons do in downtime. Who knows? Who knows? And then on Friday, the 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Dune with Ravnos Archon. In Dune, you get to see Shanky and I both sitting at the table playing together, and our characters actually get along. That's not allowed to happen. Something's got to happen to make them get sus of each other.
I know, ain't that weird?
Yeah, that's really weird. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern for that. It's run by Ravnos Archon, has Junie Von Esch in it, and Alex Skylark as well. It is definitely a tale of intrigue and suspense. Great story already, and we're only 1 session in so far. And at the time of recording this. We play our second session the day after recording this. And anyway, join us on Saturday for London Esoteric Society at 3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, this is the 5th stream this week. So, yeah. And then we'll be back here on Sunday with episode 6 of season 7 of Windy City After Dark. So many streams, y'all.
Yeah,
so many streams.
So many. But, we're doing it because we love to tell stories, and we love to let Ravenous Archon tell stories and everyone else tell stories. So, of course, as always, when we end this stream, please check in on those around you. Please take mental health seriously. Make sure people are okay, because most people aren't. Whether they know it or not, most people aren't okay right now. And if you do suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, please reach out to those around you. And if you don't feel you can, in chat right now is a list of crisis numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can reach out to them to hopefully get a lifeline or some kind voice, somebody just to talk with you, to work you through it. Because mental health is health. And it's very important. And I know a lot of people don't like to admit they're having problems, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you need help once in a while. We all need help. We can't get through life alone. So it's very important to take your mental health seriously and to make sure you're okay. And if you're not in the U.S., I know we have a number of non-U.S. viewers. There's a link in chat that lets you put in the country that you're in and find out what the helpline is in your country. We take it very seriously, and we feel it's very important to do that. And now I can turn it over to my wife for her final portion.
Y'all, I'm Mama McStabber, registered nurse. Timber Brad here is also a registered nurse. Get your vaccines, please.
Please, please, please.
Please, get your vaccines. Just take some personal responsibility, please. And I'm begging you, please vote Democrat, even if you feel like it's pointless because your district is so fucking gerrymandered that it's just going to go to naught. Please do it anyway. Please turn out November, please. Because we've got to do this. We've got to do this. People with uteruses have less autonomy than corpses now. I'm personally safe. I'm in a state that is not only has access and is boosting the availability of access, they're actually expanding the protections on it. We get a new governor in this election, and very likely it will be a governor that puts it in our Constitution for our state. But there's a number of people across the country that have had near-death experiences already from not having access to abortion care. There has already been children told by their state after they were raped that they couldn't get an abortion. There have been children told that they can't get Plan B. Children. I'm not talking teenagers. I'm talking children. You can say, if you're pro-life, what you call yourself, that it's about the babies because the babies don't have a voice. That's a real convenient excuse when you don't care about breathing people. Real fucking convenient excuse. So vote blue, y'all, so that we have some semblance of human rights at some point again. Said with a lot of rage and a bit of love.
And fuck Putin.
And fuck Putin.
Not done with it. And one last thing I want to say. In a world full of Jameson Stones, everybody be a Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Okay? In a world that seems full of people like Jameson Stone. Yeah, I'm going to call him by name. I'll give a fuck.
Yeah, him and Satine both.
Yep.
Sorry. Y'all trash.
Be Mr. Rogers. Just saying.
Yeah.
And from this, as the privilege to be the storyteller of this amazing cast of players, I do thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody.